Hello friends, in this video we will see the page layout and the commands of that tab from Microsoft Excel 2016. Page layout tab. In this tab we have various commands which we use to prepare the workbook for printing and exporting to PDF format. Through these commands we can adjust the page in the way we want to see after it print. So basically all the commands on this tab is depend on we how we want to see the page after printing it. So in this tab we have 5 different groups. Now the first group we have is theme group. Now in this theme group is to change the overall theme of your workbook. Just click on the theme button and you can choose multiple different themes from it. So there are some predefined themes, so it do change the font, smart art and shape effects, and also we have a color options whereby we can create new colors. Themes, by using the font option we can create new font themes well. And so if we want to create our own theme, so we can also create by using this commands here. So we have predefined themes there, and also we can choose and we can create our own theme by choosing these different commands. So here in my sheet I have this table and I have some shapes and images. So if I want to go to this home tab, so when I click on the home tab, the first group I see is themes. So in this we have this predefined themes. In this, if you choose this, as I hover my mouse over these different themes, you can see on the page it is changing the look of the table and other objects in our document. So these are predefined themes we can choose from. We can browse for the more themes, or when we create, so if we want to create it our own theme, so we can do what we can choose from these different options, like we can choose different color combinations we want. So you can see it is changing the different color combination, so we can choose one of the color combination which we want to have, and like I say okay, I want this one. Then you can choose the different font styles altogether. Whatever you font or whatever text you have in your document, it will be changed into these different font styles. So as you go through, it is or default changing it. Okay, I will choose this one. So it is changing the altogether look and feel of our worksheet. Then you can change the shapes of your document. You can change different option you can choose. So all these things become like these all different themes. Now if you created your own theme, you design, you change, then you can also save it to your machine. You can say save my current theme, then you can use the theme again when you want. Like I have already saved here, so I can use it. So you can save your own theme with your name, just like I saved here, and that will appear in your themes command here, which says custom. So let's save this one. So my new theme 2. Now if you go to the theme command, now you can see the new theme is also there. So this you can use it for other sheets also. So I have here one more sheet. This one is not like that, so I can go here and I can choose it from here, and it changes the theme also. Then the next group in page layout is page setup group. This page setup group, all the command in this page setup group is basically related to the printing options, like how you want to do the printing and what you want to do and how you want your page should look. Like you can decide the margin of the page. Margin, that means the by default it leaves the almost 1 inch from both the sides, left, right, top, bottom. You can change the margin from here. It will not show you in the document in the worksheet by default. When you go for the printing, you will see the change. You can change the orientation. We have two orientation: portrait or landscape. Then we have option to choose the size of the paper which we want to print. We have option to choose the print area only print area, that means only the area which we want to print. Then we have option to change the page break. By default it chooses the size according to the page size. It chooses the page break. We can change it by this command. We can also change the background image, and we can also use this print title command. So if you want to do, like, if I select this page and if I go to file and printing option, so you can see here how it is going to be printed. It is going to print it like this, and it is leaving the margin from this left side and this side also. So if I want to change it, then I can go to this page setup margin, and here by default it is always be normal. You can change it to wide. Now here you will not see any difference, but when you go to the print pane, you will see the difference, like it is leaving the more area from the sides of the page corner. Or we can change it to have narrow margin. Now if I go here and I say I want to print it, so now you can see it is leaving very less margin here. These options also you can change from here in these printing options. You have the same option available here where you can choose the different options. Then you can choose the orientation. By default you have these two orientation, portrait and landscape. When I select this, right now it is portrait. If I select landscape, no changes here, but if I go to print pane, then you can see the change. Now I select the portrait. If I go here in the print pane, if you see here, it is printing only January, February and March. It is the other area is not coming because it is in portrait mode. Portrait mode is like this, vertical. Now I want to make it, I want to have all this data like till here, so I'll change it to landscape. It will fit more data. Let's try to go here, and now you can see it is fitting more data in the page because it is changing to landscape, and it is now printing till April, May. And you can change it from here also directly from printing options. So when you're at the time of printing, you can decide the orientation, margin, and also you can decide before printing. Now before printing you can decide from here page setup, and before printing deciding, that means you know that what is going to be print and what is not going to be print. So you can design your document, design your worksheet accordingly. Then you can decide the size of the paper. Paper size, that means the printer supported paper size which you are using. So you can decide like what paper size your printer supports. So you can choose the size from here. You have multiple size to choose from, and then accordingly when you go to the print option, you will see your page according to that size. Same thing you can do it here also. You can choose it from here, the same option at the point of printing. Then this option is to select the print area. Print area means if suppose I go here now and I say I want to print the sheet, so it is going to print the whole sheet here, and it is going to be 6 pages because in one page it is not able to fit the whole content. So if I say here I don't want to print the whole sheet, if suppose I select some part, and I can decide this as a print area. Now when I go to print this sheet, it will only print that area which I have selected, no other area. Instead I am choosing the whole sheet. I am choosing here the active sheet, or even I am choosing entire workbook, still it is going to print that part which I have decided here in this print area command. This is where you want to decide before creating your data, like I want to create the data between these cells and these columns, these rows and columns. So you can decide your print area and then you can design your worksheet accordingly. So it is good idea to decide first one. Okay, if now I want to print the whole sheet, I have to clear this one, clear the print area. Now I can print the whole worksheet or workbook. Now you see it is showing the whole worksheet. Either you select entire worksheet or you select all the worksheets. Then you have option to select the page break. Page break also defined where you are going to be, where your page is going to be break, and one page can what you will have in one page. So you can define where your page will break, and in the one page you will get what, and then the other data will go to other pages. So suppose I select here glass, move to, and I say put here insert the page break on number 15, row number 15. Now what, when I go here in the printing pane, now you can see page has breaked from there. Now I can, the first page contained only the area which I have breaked. Rest of the areas are also going to be print. It is not like it is not like set print area, because the rest of the area will also be print, but it will be printed on other pages. The first page will print only the area which I have breaked. And if you want to reset, then go back and say reset all, or remove the page break. You can add multiple page breaks. You can see the small line here which is saying that there is a break here. So if you want to break, remove, you can remove, or you can reset all page breaks. Then you can add the background image for your worksheet in this command. You can choose, if your internet is there, you can choose to download it from internet, or you can download it from your machine. Now you can see your worksheet background is in that image. If you don't like it, you remove it, delete the page background. That is what when you try to print your page, so you can decide like how you want to print and that. So you can remove the background also. One more thing is to define the print tiles. This thing is also important sometime. Like suppose if I want to print this page, if you see this, it is having lots of data, and if I suppose to print this one, so it is going to be print on 6 different pages. You see here, it is going to be printed on 6 different pages. But the problem here, if you see the first page, we have the header row which indicate that this is the name column, this is the data for January, February, March. So I know that these are the names and these are the month name and the data from that month for this user. But if I go to the next page, now here I don't have the name, I don't have the header row where I cannot decide like these are name, okay, I can know, but this is January, February or March, I don't know. Now when I go to the next page, now I see only the header for the month, other months, April, May, June, July and August, but name is not showing there. Again the problem same, I cannot know like which user's data is this. Now if I go to the next page, here the big problem comes, no header, no column. Now I don't know which data is for which user, I don't know which data is from which month. In this case, what we can do, we can use this option. We can decide the print title. This option will do what? It will give you the option to select the row and the column which you want to print on every pages. So if you select this, so you say it will ask you that the row repeat on tab and column repeats on top, on left. So you say okay, I want to repeat this row in every page. Then I want to repeat this column on every page. So you have to select what you want to repeat, the row and the column which you want to repeat. This one is merge. Okay, now I can do that. That one was merged, so it will give you the problem. So this is my row and this will be my column. And now it is not, you will not see any changes here, but if you go to the print page, now you can see on the first page it is going to print this. Now when I go to the next page, still I can see the name and the column. Then I go to the next page, still I can see the name and column. Then again I can see the names, header row and column. And you can see on all the pages you will see the header row and the name column. And we can now easily define which data belongs to which user. So this is what page setup group we have. Then in this tab we have the other group which is called scale it to fit group. Now this is scale it to fit group help you to fit the page for printing by the shrinking or enlarging its size to better fit the pages. So we can use the scale to fit to adjust the width and height by describing the scale in percentage. By default it says the auto. Now auto means what? It will decide the size of the cells in width and height automatically based on the size of the scale, the cells we have. By default it is what? 100% scaled. So when you go and print that document here, you will see the size of those cells and rows. They are defined default. The default like same. But if you see here, it is not able to fit the whole page into one sheet. If you see, the whole sheet is not able to come to this single page. That is why it is creating multiple pages. Now you can decide that how you want to fit into a single page, and that is what you can define from here. You can change the width in one page. You want to have this whole data, you want to have it on 2 page, 3 page, 4 page, you can decide here. Like if I say I want to fit it into the width in one page, that means all the columns it will try to fit into one page. So when I go here and try to print, now you see here it is trying to fit the all columns into the single page. This could be a problem sometime because it is getting very small and it is not able to readable. So when you print this out, it will not readable. You can do this thing, you can do the change here from this printing pane also, from this scaling command here. Where no scaling means it goes like this, or you can change it to fit into the single page. So all the data will be fitted into a single page, or you can go fit the columns in a single page, or you can go and fit in the rows single page. So all the rows will fit into the single page, but the columns will go to the next page. So you can decide from here also at the point of printing, or you can decide before printing here. So you can decide the height means you want to print all the rows in the pages, 1 page, 2 page, and width means you are deciding about the columns. You want to print it in 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, 9 page, or it is better to use automatic. And then you can decide a scale percentage also, like how you want to fit into the document. By default it is 100. Let's say I go for 150. Now I go here for the printing. Now you can say it is increasing, and now it is fitting only three columns: January and February and name. So if I say okay, go for 200%, now if I try to print, now you see it is showing only two columns. So it is we deciding here like how much percentage we want. By default it is actually 100%. So it decide automatically which is better for your sheet and which is readable. So this group is already it is to decide how you want to print in your page. Then the next group is sheet option group. It is also a printing option that can show or hide the grid lines. While printing and headings options are used to give headings to the rows and columns. So as you see here in this group, by default always these options are selected: grid lines and headings. So if you see here in this group, by default these options are selected. Suppose I remove this grid line, it is saying view grid line. If I remove this, you can see here though grid lines are not now showing, they are not showing here. This is already a table, so it is not showing the grid lines, but here in the empty area it is not showing. So if I say show, then it shows here. And if you print this one, then these grid lines will not print. So if you see here in this first row, column A, B, C, D and E, there are grid lines there. But if I go here and try to print this document, if you see here, there is no grid lines are there because it is not showing the grid lines. So grid lines will not be printed. But if you want, it only shows here, it will not get printed. But if suppose you want to print with the grid line, then you will select this option. Then what, when you go to print, now you can see those grid lines also here. In the table it is not visible, but when there is no table, it is visible there. So if you want to see the grid line, you can enable and disable from here. And if you want to print the grid line, then you can select this. Then this heading option. Headings are this column headings and row headings. If you don't want to see, remove it. Now you will see no heading for the columns and no heading for the rows. This is to see only. But if you print the document, it will not show there. If you see, there is no header for the columns and rows. But if you want to print the document with the headers of columns and rows, then you will click this. And when you go there for printing, now you will see that column headings and row headings also. And it is going to be printed. So in some cases, maybe you need to print the grid lines, or maybe you need to print the headers. So you can select from here, from this group. Then the last group here in this tab is this arrange group. This arrange group is all related to the shapes, images and objects which you have in the document. So which, if you are having some images and shapes in your document, in your worksheet, in your workbook, then you can manage them from here. Manage them, that means if it is overlapping shapes you have, then you can decide to bring them forward or send them backward. You can align them, you can group, ungroup them, you can rotate them. Or also if you are not able to select some particular object, then you can go to the selection pane to select some specific objects. Like I have these objects here. So if you see this, this object, it is in background and I'm not able to see what it is there. So I can click here, bring forward. Now it is coming forward to this object in the middle. Now I can bring forward more, and now it is in the front. I can send backward also. So it goes backward, and you can bring all together to forward, directly forward, or you can send directly backward. So these arrange group is actually related to only these shapes and or images and objects in your document. If you don't have, these options are not useful. Then you have this alignment option. So if you want to align these shapes here, so you can align them together by using these commands: align left, right, center, top, bottom, middle. You can distribute the distance between those objects horizontally or vertically properly. You can snap them with the grid. You can snap them with the snap to shapes. And if you want to see the helping grid lines, then you can click on this to show the helping grid lines. So when you move your objects, you will see those grid lines to help. Then if suppose I align them to center, now you see they are centered aligned. Or you want to align them to left, now they are left aligned. Or you can align them to right, aligned right. Then you have this command to group them together. That means if you want to move them together, you want to resize them together, then you can do it by using them into making them as a group, single group. They are not single, they are separate, so you can make them as a group. Now they work like a single shape, so you can resize them together, you can move them together. So whatever you want to do, you can do together. Then after you are done, you can ungroup them. Then also you can do rotate these objects, these shapes, these images. You can rotate them like this: 90-degree right, 90-degree left, flip vertically or flip horizontally. So you can do rotate these objects according to your requirement, and then done what you want. So this is just to design your worksheet to look good, and when you are going to print the document, so when you print it, so it should look good like this. So this is the last group we have in this page layout tab, and this is the last thing we have in this video. So I hope you like this thing. So in the next video we will see something else. Till then, have a good day and thank you for joining.